Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody, we are back, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. Tom Smith. Tom, so nice to see you again. How you doing, man?
I'm awesome. I look forward to our Monday meetings.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a part two of something we started last week, but I should tell people that as far as life and career coaching, as far as being a Marine, and as far as having a passion for helping vets and for helping people and studying and researching, that's your bag, and that's what you're about, man. And your show is awesome. But tell us, take us back to what we covered last week and where we left off. If you can give us a little refresher. Sure. I remembered it this time.
So basically, by our last segment, and I always preface everything, and I know you are sick and tired of hearing it because you hear me this every week. I'm not black and I'm not white and I'm not red and I'm not blue. I'm an American veteran. I am America. So I speak truths. Everything that I come up with is not necessarily opinionated. It's based on fact and science. And so we've been covering moral injury and the losing of our soul here in America. That's all by design, by the way. And so we've been talking about why our country is in the state that it's in right now. And so I want to, this is Casey, this is the most important show that we've done so far, and I may ever do, because we're not talking necessarily about veterans now. We're not talking about necessarily just mental health. We're talking about America. You are America and I am America. And this is all based on facts. This is based on research. This is based on science. And so, if that's enough background to get us up to where we're talking about now, we're talking about our country is basically being burned to the ground, and it's really super sad. And so what I want to do is I'm going to move really quickly, because even in this show, I'm trying to think in my head, good Lordy, I'm going to have to fly to get all this in here. So I just want to start. Years ago, advertising agencies, this came from advertising agencies. This is decades ago. They were trying to figure out how in the world can we sell these kids our cereals, Post, all of these major manufacturers, because when you go down the aisles today in the grocery store, there's like 1,000 different boxes of cereal. It's insane. You know what I mean? So they try to figure out how can they sell their box of cereal to the kid. So if you look on Saturday mornings, even to this day, it's an absolute battle of how many times you're going to see Lucky Charms, Captain Crunch. They're all good. Back in the 70s, late night. I ate them all, brother. Great munch when you get home. You get me. So anyway, that's what they started doing. So they started doing research, and what they found was, now this is the science. The more times somebody hears something, they see something, it becomes branded, and they no longer have to think. So their idea was, when these kids walk down the aisle of the cereal, all they're going to remember is Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
All they're going to remember is that little leprechaun. He was trippy, but he was good. So anyway, that's the science. And then that's how they figured out how to do that. It's called branding of the brain.
Branding.
So that's really important, because when I get to the very end of this segment, it's going to make a lot more sense, because if people understand how basic this is, they will understand the truth, and that it's not just, you're left or you're right or you're this or that. So what I want to talk about is in our society today, looking at our states and the situation that we're in right now, we are in probably one of the biggest, most turmoil situations in America. This is the fight for the soul of America. Everything that's being done right now is being a power grab, and everything is being done through branding of the brain. So when you look at one side of the media that we constantly hear, and I don't know how they do this, except for the fact that they're all on the same team, on the left team, how they can come out and they can brand all day long. All you hear about is racist, racist, racist. Studies have found that is probably the most significant, impactful word that they can use because our bodies do not react to it. Because if you're racist, that's your choice. That's not mine. I grew up in the 70s, man. Some of my best friends are black. I love them, and I will fight for them at this day. So don't get up all in my face telling me that I'm racist, because I'm not. My parents taught me to love people for the way they are and who they are. And I love Martin Luther King said, by the character, not by the skin of your colors, how you judge and rate people. Okay, enough of that. I'll get off my soapbox and get back into
I'm
my
with
lane.
you on that 100%.
Right? So What's happened is in our society, we have people that have become a power grab. They have grabbed in their states. These people have taken over, whether it was legitimately or not. They now are the rulers of their state. And so what happens is in our society, and this we talked about a few shows back, but I'm just going to recap it. If we look at this as a snapshot of as our leaders of our state, you call them governors, whatever you want to call them, they are the parents of the children, which are the constituents. And if they, and again, it's scientific fact, if parents have shown, if you have your kid on a tight, strict regime, they know what they're going to do day in, day out. They know the boundaries. They know left, good and bad. They have a moral compass. Parents have instilled in them a moral compass. What's right and wrong? We'll leave it at that. Okay. So what happened was our country's been moving along pretty well over the last several years, but then all of a sudden there was a power grab that took place in 2020, and this is really going to piss a lot of people off, and I really don't care because this is based on fact.
Mhm.
There's no spin, there's no message. This isn't left or right. They came in front of the world, pretty much took the voting rights away from Americans because it was a power grab. So between 2016 and 2020, there was this massive behind the scenes orchestration of how they're going to hijack it, and they did it. So here's fact. When a truck rolls in at 4 a.m. and 700,000 ballots are cast, and there's all for one person, that's fact. When the buildings that they're counting, if you're not on their team, you're kicked out and the doors are shut, that's fact. Did you know 20,000 documented people stepped forward and said, hey, we cheated? That is not in red states. That's in blue states. Those are facts. Okay. So we never get the facts because the people on the left are trying to brand our brains the same as the companies did with the children in the cereal. The more time we hear that we're racist, we're horrible people, we're not accepting white supremacy, the more times they can say that, because here's where it gets really, really, really interesting, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
In therapy, clinicians use a thing, and I do as well, called word therapy. What that means is we're going to reprogram your brain. We've talked a lot about remapping, right?
Yep.
How you do that, your brain processes information to, it hears what it's hearing. And the more times that you hear it, the more it becomes truth.
Yes, no doubt.
Tracking me?
Yep.
So we take people that have been told you're dumb, you're stupid. We talked about this in the last segment of how people have moral injuries because of the verbiage that people have heard, people talking about them. You're dumb, you're stupid, nobody wants you. You hear that long enough, you believe it without a shadow of a doubt. How do you get out of that horrible system? You go back, and my process is, it's a 3-step process. The 3 most popular based on success within scientific studies of brain health. One's meditation. Every American in the country needs to meditate. I don't have time to get into that right now,
okay,
but it brings your body back into balance. We talked about the EMDR last time, which is what it does is makes the brain communicate, both sides of the brain communicating at one time, which alleviates a lot of that PTSD. And that's the most successful for post-traumatic stress and cognitive behavior therapy. And then the last one is word therapy. A lot of clinicians use word therapy because it's word affirmation. If I tell you all day long, Casey, you're 6'3", man, eventually you're going to think, Casey, I'm 6'3". You know what I'm saying? Even though you may not. So what they're doing from the left is the exact same thing that I was talking about in the last segment, as far as how Hitler took over Nazi Germany. Is once you own the word is on the internet, content is king. You're in media, you know what I'm talking about. If you have great content, people are going to want to hear. Right. Hopefully this show becomes that. Yeah. And so what they did, when they steal all of the information that you're being fed and they control it, the narrative, they're going to tell you every horrible thing that there is about you to break your spirit and steal your soul, so you no longer know right from wrong. That is why it is a non-stop barrage from the left, working in conjunction with the left to be their media outlet. So it is lies, it is propaganda, and it is brainwashing. Now, Casey, all of this that we're bombarded with has one one specific reason. And at the close, I'm going to tell you what that reason is. So we live in a country and a society today that some of our parents in these states are allowing their children to run amok. And we see it on the news and it breaks my heart. They're burning their cities down. They're robbing, they're raping, they're killing. I mean, they just run around like the Wild West shooting each other because there is no boundaries. They don't even care. They even promote them to go do that. Why else would they want to get rid of the police? Because in the back rooms, that's where they're making all their deals. That's how somebody with 150 some $1,000 income in 4 years becomes a multi millionaire. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We, the people,
Gross.
no longer exist for them. It's all about them. Everything that our politicians today are doing to us has one purpose: to steal our moral injury, so we no longer know what's right and wrong. And so when I watch these TV shows, I watch the news for different segments. I'm going to take two different profiles that we talked about in the last show that I wanted to cover. There's two different profile of people that's going on right now. When you look at the people in the cities that's burning them down, they're usually metropolitan areas. So let's look at the psychological effect of living in these areas. You're in a fight or flight. These people are under massive stress. They're afraid to go on the streets because they're going to shoot somebody, or somebody's going to shoot you. You have no hope. You become hopeless. You have a struggle just feeding yourself, and the stress doesn't allow the brain to develop properly. So they are in a combat zone, so to speak. So when they have the opportunity, because they know their parents not going to get on them, they are going to explode. They're going to do as much damage as they possibly can because this is their opportunity to.
No repercussion.
None. And not just that, it's like, I'm going to tear all this up. I'm going to steal everything. I'm going to rob everything. I'm going to destroy these people's property because they're sociopaths. They have no moral compass whatsoever.
Right.
They don't even feel. They think they're getting back at society because society has treated them so horribly. It's everybody else's fault that you're you.
Yeah.
And then so you've got that segment going on. And now you have the other segment. And this is the one that I find the most interesting, really, is we live in a society today that there's a lot of people that's disconnected. They just don't fit in for whatever reason. They don't maybe have a lot of friends. They're maybe a little bit different. They could just be shy. I don't know. But when I look at the profiles based on like assessing people, watching their looking at through the eyes of science or counseling or whatever, looking at their behavior, it gives us an opportunity to know what's going on based on just knowing how the brain works. So you have these people that are in complete retaliation. Now you have the people that are protesting. Okay, I'm not going to get into the BLM or anything like that. I'm just going to get into the everyday people that want to protest. You have those people that are fanatical. And to their core, what they're ranting and chanting about is to their core.
Okay.
Whether it's right or wrong, that's just their belief factor. But when you watch them march down the street, you have the leaders and then you have the followers. The followers are the people that are in here in society and they've never really done anything with their life. Nobody even really probably knows that they even really exist. They've never really fit in. They don't belong to any social groups. And it's not necessarily anything wrong with them. That's just their personality, their profile. And you watch them march down the street. And I mean, it doesn't take anybody with any sense whatsoever to go, oh, wow, what are you guys doing? Oh, I can march. Oh, yeah, I can walk. And then they get in there and they start marching with their parades and stuff like that. And in those moments, the endorphins kick in. And for the first time, maybe in their life, they think, wow, man, look at me. I'm important. Wow, I'm doing something.
A place to fit in.
That's where I was going with it. I fit in. Look at me. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to do anything. I just have to march. And then those are all the followers because in that moment, that 15 minutes of fame, they're alive.
Wow.
Get it?
Yeah.
So that's why it's
a great plan. If you're a scumbag, it's a great plan.
But you see what I'm saying?
I do.
So those people march along. You have the other people over here that are sociopaths that are just waiting for an opportunity to destroy as much as they can because that's what's going on inside of them. Hate, anger, fear. That's how could you walk up and shoot somebody with without having any kind of ramifications. So what we need to do as far as these parents in these states, we need to begin to take it back. And so this is moving into the process of the close of what I want
I'm
everybody
loving the
to
way you're putting
understand.
all this. You're making it so people can understand. Like
Right.
that was just a moment right there. I was like, what? Now it's perfect because even the people that are lukewarm now they got a place to fit in. So you really whoever is really dividing people the way that they want. It's incredible.
Yeah. And a lot of these people are paid, by the way.
Oh,
So that doesn't hurt either.
right.
So in the beginning of our country, our forefathers knew. Could you imagine? And I'm just going to say the word, the shit show that must have taken place when they were coming up with our Constitution. There's documentation of fights, battles, screaming, hollering. But in the end, all of those men knew what we as Americans were going to face, and that our greatest enemy will be within, called our government,
Yeah.
because they were struggling for that. So in the Constitution, have you noticed how hard the left tries to diss the Constitution and get rid of it? Do you know why that is?
Why?
Because it gives we the people all the power. And that's what scares politicians, because they are power hungry. Everything that's going on that we see, that we hear, that we feel in America today, this tragic thing taking place is well orchestrated. These people that are constantly, I'm reading on different blogs, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Hey, America, listen to me. All right. Wake the hell up. These guys are on track and executing their plan to destroy us, America. They're coming against our souls. They're coming against our religion. They're coming against our brain. They are trying to brand us so that way their truth becomes our truth. And the scary part of it is the more they can dumb our society down, the more followers they will get. Because some of these people that are interviewed on the street, I used to love Jesse Waters when he would do these things. They don't even know how many how many states in the United States.
Right. Right.
Who's the president? Who's the speaker? These people are they're counting on them
Going to the
because when you
colleges. That's even more.
oh dude, I'm gonna do a show on that coming up.
You gotta.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a kick in the butt. But what I want us Americans to know is our forefathers gave us all the power. Everything that's coming down the pike with us right now, that we're because fear is the strongest power on earth. Our brains can't function when you become frightened. And if they can frighten you with COVID, now it's like whatever else they can come up with. They want you to be fearful, because when you're fearful, you cannot process. Your
You'll
brain
obey.
cannot process. You're just like, what? And then they can feed you whatever information they want to feed you, brand your brain. Because here's where I'm tying this all up. Everything that we're experiencing in America today. Let me ask you this question, Casey. If you were to go on, and I'm asking every American this, you go on vacation, you're gone for a week, you have a great time, you come back, somebody broke into your house. Oh my God, they stole everything in your house. They stole all your food. They stole all the kids' books. They don't have anything to learn. They shut your electricity off. They took all of your gas. They robbed you of everything that means anything to you as a person. You're devastated. What would be the first thing that you would do when you got home and discovered this?
You'd probably be really pissed off and want revenge.
Exactly. You want to know who did it. I
Yeah.
want to know who committed this crime.
Right.
I want them prosecuted. I want them thrown in jail for ruining my life.
Right.
So here's the question I'm asking America. This November, when we step into the booth and we pull that curtain, ask yourself, I don't give a rat's butt who the politician is. What if they're left or right? Is your life better today than it was 2 years ago? Are you afraid of your community, your state, your children? Are you afraid how you're going to continue to be able to pay your bills? Who is the person that's robbed you of your life? Get pissed off. Think for 1 second. I want to know who this person is. It's not real hard to see. We have the leaders in our country for 2 years. This is their plan to destroy us. Our forefathers gave us the power to hire and fire and control the destiny of our nation. All of this negative, fear mongering, bombarding, negative crap that's going on, all of this insane stuff, all of it, Casey, is orchestrated for that moment when we step into the power booth, that we don't think when we're going down the aisle to get the cereal, we're just going to go, oh man, I just heard from this senator or this congressman or this governor or whatever, this president, over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, I'm just going to, because they said those other people are horrible and they're racist and they suck and they don't like me. I'm going to vote for this person. They don't want you to think.
Right.
They do not want you to think. Everything that we're experiencing is for that one moment when we color in that little circle.
Tom, are you afraid that it's gotten so bad that that time where it's supposed to be our power to make that decision, that might be a little bit marred? Do you think that it's on the level? Because that's what scares me. I think people are sick of this.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm really going to push the crap out of this. I'm getting ready to sign with a big advertising agency to get all of my shows put out all over all the different media outlets, because people need to hear this.
Yeah, they do.
I think that people are sick of it. Hey, dude, if you're going to come in and rip off the election to make my life better, I'll look the other way. But if you're going to come in and steal it from one of the most prosperous times in American history, and you're going to steal it just to destroy us.
We were independent. I won't get into this, but just to take away everything that was, you're right. 2 years ago and now, is your life better?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you. I don't think, except for the people in charge, I don't think anybody would say that their life is better after 2 years.
I wonder how these people that were a part of that 20,000 that stepped forward and the other million that didn't come forward and say, hey man, we cheated. I wonder how their life is doing right now. They made this happen. They're the ones that executed the plan of the left. You see what I'm saying? So I just want American people to just ask yourselves, stop listening to the crap on television. Ask yourself, it's simple. Forget all the politicians to the left, the right, who's this, who's orange, who's senile. Be selfish and take your life back. Your forefathers gave you the power. And until we step up as Americans, which is going to probably happen in November, the left has already set out plans to cheat. They've already been started to get caught in different primaries. But I guarantee you one thing, in November, people are going to be watching what's going on. And especially in the next 2 years, that will never happen again, because now we Americans are awake and we know what's going on and we're sick of this. And that power in that booth, you become an American and you make a decision based on you, person, you, not a politician, not a blue or red. No, not black, white. I don't care what. I don't care. You are an American. You have rights. If you're not being taken care of, only you have the power to change America. And that's what scares them the most, while they're doing everything to distract us, so that way they get their way. But we cannot come November.
I'm glad that you said this, and thank you very much to put it in such articulate terms, and so everyone can understand. You're 100% right. Have you ever seen it? Because I haven't really paid attention. I mean, I only started paying attention when we were forced to be home. So I, watched. I can't believe what people get away with. But has it ever been anywhere close to this bad as far as them taking away our rights?
Not in the history of America.
Not even close, right?
No, this is a precedent that we're living in right now. This is to steal our children from us, to try to indoctrinate them, to try to make them become something that they're biologically not, to try to destroy human beings. This is a struggle between good and evil. Casey.
It really is.
Telling you like it is. It's a battle of principalities, and Christians know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the Great Reset, and we need to reset. America needs to do it for the rest of the world, because the rest of the world's following our lead. And if they can see that we're standing up and we're voting and we're taking our lives and our country back, hopefully that'll give them the same power and insight to do it, because this is happening all over the world. They're all criminals, and we need to flush them all out. If you've been in here, if you've been in politics more than two cycles, all these dinosaurs need to go.
Yeah.
know,
What
we
is
need fresh
a
young blood.
lifetime? You have a lifetime job.
40 some years.
I mean, where else is that accepted? It's so wrong.
Yeah. Well, when they make up the rules, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
They
Good
make
for
up the
them.
rules. But unfortunately, we get to vote. And if we vote our conscience, if we vote our heart, and if we vote for our children and our families and our parents and our future, they know that they stand no chance. And we need to start taking our country back. God bless America, man. That's all I can
God
say.
bless. Yeah, definitely. And God bless you for saying this. I mean, somebody had to put it out there just the way you did, you know, so everyone can understand. And everything that you said, man, you were right on. I would love to watch this back because this was a great show. And I know we're out of time, but let me give you the last word. Thank you for doing this, man. Really a great one. Really.
I know. I was really excited about it. I started getting wound up yesterday, waiting to do
well
this.
researched, and really, you're on your game.
I put a lot of effort into this one. You know, because like I say, it's got to be science and truth. So I'm really uncomfortable when I step out and say, people, I really would love for them to be able to start supporting me, because I don't make any money doing this, man. This is my heart. This is my passion. And hopefully I'll be able to figure out a way to be able to make an income, because the more money that I raise, Casey, the more money that I can donate and help veterans organizations. Yeah. This isn't about Tom getting rich and famous. I'll never be rich and famous. I'll give it away. I'm just a simple country dude, you know, living his dream in Montana. I'm a veteran. This is my calling. God, this is why God created me. You know, I pray for him to be able to give me insight and wisdom. And so this isn't really about me, man, but I would really love at some point, P. Thomas Smith Counseling at gmail.com, all lower caps, and P. Thomas Smith Counseling LLC on Facebook. I'm hoping that people will reach out and go, hey man, we want to help in any way, because if I raised $1,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, I'm going to be able to help so many people. And if I have to come out and speak like this and to put myself out there, which is really kind of uncomfortable, to be honest with you, I'm a private person. But if it helps other people, then I'm willing to do it.
You do it well. So it's a gift that you got. So, you know, we need people that are telling the truth. And that's what you're doing, man. Great show, Tom. Really. Yeah. Anybody listening and can donate to the cause, because, you know, it's going to help a vet. It's going to go to the right place. Where do they go one more time?
You can find me, just email me and I can tell you how you can help sponsor P. Thomas Smith Counseling at gmail.com, as well as P. Thomas Smith Counseling LLC on Facebook. And I mean, even if you want to be a part of it, or you want to support me, or you have topics you want to talk about, just, man, I'm a voice for the people.
Got it. Tom, great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear what you got to say next.
Bless you, brother.
All right. We'll be right back. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, man.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.